Boys and girls, it is episode 4 of the Buy Me Back podcast. And on this week's episode, we will be introducing a new guest to the show while going over the season 2 changes and, of course, the tier list of the week. I hope you all enjoy this week's episode as much as we did. And with that being said, let's get into the show. Boys and girls, we are back.
How long has it been? Not to interrupt your intro, but how long has it been since you did the last one?
It's got to have been 6 months. Dude.
Really?
Too long. Way too long. It's good to sit back in these chairs. It's good to be sitting in front of you, buddy.
I'm so happy. I'm excited.
Oh my gosh. Boys and girls, you may notice this is a different voice than our normal co-host. For the record, Joshua is not gone. He's taking a quick little break from Call of Duty, as he probably should. I did the same.
We probably all should.
Yeah,
from
we
time
probably
to time.
all
Yeah,
should.
It might be a little overbearing.
It might be good on the mental if you do that, but it's hard when you run a COD pod. It's kind of hard to do that.
Yep.
But Joshua's not gone. I'm hoping in the future, our new guest here can be a more regular one, along with Joshua, and we can have a 3-man pod.
I'd love that.
So hoping by episode 10 we got 3 mics, but we'll keep that in the pipeline. But boys and girls, I'd like to introduce a new host to the Buy Me Back podcast, my best friend, wonderful family member, my good cousin, good buddy, Tyler.
A.K.A. Keith Stone.
A.K.A. T-Bone.
A.K.A. T-Bone. That's a good one, too. We got a few.
We got the nicknames down. T, first of all, this has been like probably a couple months of us trying to get this in the making.
It was before, longer than that. When did BO6 come out? November.
Dude,
and we started talking
while.
about it as soon as BO6
this
came out. We're
months.
like, we got to get this done. Yeah, so we're like 3 months into trying to get this figured out. We finally linked up.
So, boys and girls, new host, Tyler. He's here to stay. Love him to death, and you guys are going to love him too. He's a freaking hoot. So, boys and girls, with the intro out of the way, we're going to get over to our first segment of the week. Call of Duty dropped some new information, so we're going to hit you with a quick ad, and we'll get right into that.
Sick.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have some upcoming news, some upcoming content to potentially save Warzone. And if you guys know,
keep your fingers crossed.
Take this all with a grain of salt.
Yes.
This, I'm not expecting this to really change much.
Me neither.
And if it does, I can't wait to put my hand up and say I was wrong.
Me neither.
But knowing the past and other updates and everything, and
no, they had a great game and they broke it.
Uh-huh.
I mean, they had a really good game and they broke it.
There's been a lot of turmoil in the community. You probably haven't been seeing as much as I have. A lot of the pros are quitting. A lot of content creators are quitting, swapping to new games. Because who wants to play?
I did see that their players are down like almost 50%.
Drastically,
yeah,
dude, drastically. And this is the quickest dip we've had.
Yep.
In player count. Now, I don't think this is the worst state the game has been in terms of Warzone. Because we had Warzone 2. You were not there for this, but that was the absolute most disgusting state Warzone's ever been in. There was just no movement. The time to kill was super quick. There was just really no way to outplay people.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all. And we think Black Ops 6 now is clunky, dude. Go watch some Warzone 2 gameplay. It was clunky as heck. Pretty funny stuff. But yeah, the game is in a tough spot. Lots of bugs and glitches. I mean, I still can't even play a game without my loadout resetting.
Yeah, that is wild.
We're 3 months into the game. Loadout resets every time. And that's not even a glitch in the game. Like in the actual gameplay. That's in the menus.
Yep.
So we got bugs and glitches left and right.
Helpful.
So helpful, dude. It's not like I wanted to use that XM4 or anything,
exactly.
dude. But the devs have promised a lot of things as of the last few days. We've had some recent developments, some community updates from the developers. And I want to skim through a couple of these because some of these seem interesting, but as we said before, take it all with a grain of salt. They got to earn this trust back. They can't just
yet to be determined.
They can't just post to the community and say, "Hey, we're fixing this stuff." When in the past they've said the same thing, and then an update comes out and it breaks even more than what it does.
I hope nothing more than on Wednesday we hop on to play a game of duos, and it's like, this is so awesome. This is the best.
Okay, let's get into some of these changes that they were talking about. We're not going to go through every single one. We're going to skim through some of the ones I think that are important. The most important one, in my opinion, I know this was in ranked play for the last few weeks, but it's starting to trickle into pubs, and that is the cheating problem. Almost every other game of Warzone at the moment, I am running into a cheater. And this is not a, oh, he's cheating because he slammed me and I suck. This is, this guy's tracking me through 3 layers of walls. He then proceeds to turn the corner, aimed on my head, hit all headshots, and I fly back in from respawning, get beamed out of the air. Like, this is blatant
Not under
walls.
Canopy or anything. Yeah.
No, this is blatant walling, blatant aimbot, and I'm seeing this everywhere.
And so I don't play as much Warzone as you do.
Mm-hmm.
I have played a bit of multiplayer, and I don't think I ever experienced the same level of cheating like you're talking about in Warzone in multiplayer like I have on BO6 either.
Yeah.
It was even pissing my wife off. Like, we were playing Stakeout, and they were shooting you through the walls of the house.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and I know there was an issue with multiplayer where there was that one perk that when you died and came back, it highlighted people.
Loved that perk.
Did you?
That's totally different.
Okay,
though.
okay.
Totally
I'm just making sure, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Which is crazy because you gotta pay, but it's on Game Pass. A lot of loopholes, a lot of cheaters. So that's the biggest issue, by far. If your game's infested with cheaters, doesn't matter how well your game is in terms of gameplay wise.
Yeah, it's still gonna suck.
Cheaters aren't fun for anybody. Nobody likes cheaters. And if you're a cheater listening to this podcast, feel free to hop the fuck off the podcast. Honestly, like no love or respect for you guys. That's crazy. Number 2, the actual gameplay problems, which there are a lot. We went over just a couple of them before, but the changes they are bringing supposedly are going to help a lot of these issues.
So I didn't read through the list like you did, but like, one of my biggest complaints is audio.
Mm-hmm.
Awful.
Yep.
Compared to Modern Warfare 3. Graphics seem awful. We've talked about this too outside of the pod, is you go play for an hour or two on BO6 and then you hop over to MW3 and you feel like you've just booted up the newly released game. And that is backward from what it should be when you go from the new game to the old game.
Yep.
For me, I have a really hard time seeing enemies in BO6.
100%.
Like, it's way harder to see them
100%.
just in normal gameplay. It's very strange to me.
Yeah.
So I really hope that they address those few little things, because that would change it just a lot for me. If you can give me good audio cues and if you can help me see the goddamn bad guys, we could probably play the game. So
I love it. Yeah, dude, visibility is I 100% agree, is way, way worse than last year.
Yeah.
I feel like last year I don't know. I thought at first my eyes are just getting worse.
Nope.
And then I do some more digging and I go, oh, no.
It's everybody.
And the way the graphics are, the way the gameplay style is in terms of graphically, that makes these character models blend in with the environment a lot more. A lot harder to pick out bad guys for sure.
Yep.
Audio. That was the biggest issue on day 1 of Warzone on the integration, was there was literally no audio. They have made it probably 10 times better, but it is still nowhere near the level it needs to be.
I agree.
Coming from the guy with an audio tune on his computer, I still can't hear guys half the time.
Yep.
So here's the problem, T, is when the audio actually is rendered by the game, I hear it very well.
Uh-huh. And
people are saying they hear it very well too. But there's half the time where it's just not rendered by the game.
No, I agree. Because you can actually, what you're saying, when it is rendered, when you can hear it, the footsteps are amazing.
Yes.
I said that from like day 1.
Yeah.
When you hear them.
Yeah.
It's better than Modern Warfare. You can pick up their direction better, and there's a little louder echo. Yeah. But most of the time, unless everyone's just running Ghost, like in the entire map, half the time you go into a battle, you can't hear anybody.
Speaking of Ghost, I'm gonna forget it later on, so I'm gonna say it right now. One of the bugs is that if you have Ghost equipped in the pre-game lobby where it's got the timer in Warzone, it will actually go into the match. So you will drop into the match with Ghost equipped. So that's been a big issue with UAVs I'm popping, where I die to somebody who is somehow ghosted at the very start of the match.
That's why.
Very odd. So I just want to get that out of the way. But back to audio. Yeah, audio, dude, is super bad. But to be fair, it's been like a roller coaster the entirety of Warzone's life cycle. I feel like with these integrations, it always comes out rough. and then by the end of it, they smooth it out, and then we get a new integration,
Yeah.
and then it's back to being bad.
Rough.
In my opinion, that is the fundamental issue with Warzone is these integrations.
Well,
Warzone needs to be its own separate thing. You could probably integrate the guns and maybe like the Omni movement, but why are we incorporating the whole new engine? Because this is what is ruining it every time.
yeah.
All these bugs and glitches.
But because they want to use that engine going forward, I would guess is the reason why. But
Yeah.
also, I don't understand. Warzone as a whole is a smaller file size than multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
But we can choose to go play Black Ops 6 multiplayer, Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer. Everybody will download both.
Yeah.
Why don't you give us the option to play Warzone 3? Was that what Modern Warfare 3
I guess
is?
so.
Warzone,
You could say
whatever
that,
you'd
yeah.
call it, or the new Warzone. Like, why can't you give your audience the choice? It's all about choice. You let us choose to play the multiplayers, which is twice the size as a Warzone file. So how come why can't you leave us with Warzone from Modern Warfare 3 and the new one and let the people decide? And then what they're going to find out, here's why they don't want to do this. What they're going to find out is everyone will be playing the old one and no one will be on their new game.
If I had to guess, T, it's that it'd be too divisive of a player base, and
Yeah.
it would just
And
make
probably
it very
too
difficult.
hard to maintain so
And-
many servers.
And if you got a Warzone here, a Warzone there, a Warzone there, 4 COD games, and you got the file sizes are going to be huge.
Oh, but they already are.
True. I mean, 300 gigabytes
I would
for
download
a
it.
fucking game.
Yeah, I would download
I
it.
know.
And I'm not even saying I don't need to be able to go back and play Warzone 1.
Right.
But at least if you release, and even when you release a whole new operating system or integration, allow us the ability to keep playing the old one until you figure out all these problems.
That is a good way to put it. I think they shouldn't have integrated Warzone this early. It obviously wasn't ready.
Yep.
Like we are still basically. I look at that game and I go, we are in a beta.
Yep.
So I think the real problem is
It wasn't ready, and they pushed it anyways.
that these higher ups are giving these developers these deadlines that they got to meet, even if they're not ready for them.
Yeah.
And that's where the issue persists, and the fact that it changes every single year.
Yep.
Make Warzone its own thing. But anyways, back to the changes. Audio, where we were at before.
Yeah.
They're
Audio,
actually-
visual, pretty much.
Yeah,
are my big ones.
They're lowering the reverb effect that audio gives, like that echo. So remember, if you're like in a hallway or something, it's like all around you. You can't tell what's going on, where it's coming from.
Yep.
Sometimes your footsteps are so dang loud that you think it's somebody else, but
Yep.
it's just yours echoing across the wall, dude.
Yep.
So they're lowering that, thankfully. But yeah, they said a couple audio changes. Didn't really say anything about visibility, unfortunately. But they had some base perk changes coming, which is probably the thing I'm most excited for. Once again, take it all with a grain of salt, guys. Like
We'll find out.
We'll find out. I wouldn't really trust them until it actually comes out, and then we get hands on with the experience. And we'll let you guys know first thing from a casual side of it, is the game working? Yep. But these perk changes, they are basically from last year. Fast hands, which was the quick grip gloves, and then there was one for swapping weapons. You know which one that was?
Commando gloves, I think.
Yeah, commando. So basically, they're building those back into your character by default. So you swap weapons faster and reload faster.
So are they going to be like a glove? They're not adding gear or gloves.
No.
But how are they?
It's just basically it's just gameplay wise.
Everybody will have it
by default.
Okay.
Yes. At all times, with or without your loadout, which is huge because I feel like to be fair, this is the first small step into a bigger issue, which is all the animations are slower and clunkier,
way clunky,
and stiffer, and not as fluid and slower. Like
the only animation that I can think of that I like better, which you probably actually don't, but I feel like ascension cables are way smoother than they used to be. Now you can't fly off the top of them like you used to, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But as far as just the animate, I feel like the noise is a little quieter, which I like, and it's just a smoother transition.
Way fluid.
Over the top.
As soon as you click X on that, you start going up. As soon as you hit the top, you're off. There's no animation to get off.
Yep.
I think that's a huge W.
I do too.
I will
take
that over having to know advanced movement, so you can cancel the animation and jump up over it. Like
I
love that stuff. I love learning advanced movement, but I feel like in the broader scheme of things, it's better to have them be like how they are now.
Yep.
That's a huge W. Unfortunately, all the other animations are slower and stiffer, and the only ones I really saw them talk about were the reload and swap speed. So we'll see if in the future they incorporate more. But as of right now, those are what we're getting by default. On top of that, they're incorporating dexterity, which is the perk that reduces fall damage and then reduces your gun motion while jumping, like jump shotting. They're not incorporating the fall damage, but they're incorporating the
gun sway or idle sway.
Yeah, the weapon bob while in air or in motion, I think is what it is. But not your default sway, like not when you're just standing and aiming a gun, just when you're doing movement and sliding, I think, and jumping and stuff like that. Which is good because I don't know if you I don't know if you do this a lot, but I'm a jump shotter.
You're a huge jump shotter, for sure.
And so in Black Ops 6, when you go from Black Ops 6 to Modern Warfare 3 and you jump shot, in Black Ops 6, your gun goes up way more. Your reticle does not stay on target where you're actually aiming. And then when you hit the ground, it actually bobs down way far.
Yeah.
Way far.
Yep.
And so the whole time, your reticle, your crosshair is not lined up with what you're seeing and what's happening.
Or where you're shooting. Yeah, so I see this a lot. So I'm sure you have it too. And I don't know if you play with it, but like on my monitor, you can turn the crosshair on in the middle of your screen, right? And that's how COD works. The center of your screen is your aim point. Doesn't matter where you're looking. It's always the middle of the screen. So like you said, when you're jumping off of buildings or jump shotting, or even it happens on slides all the time, the crosshair or the reticle of my sight will be a good inch or 2 inches below or above the center of my screen.
Yeah, so we got basically dexterity is getting, that's nice, dude. That's nice. Dexterity is getting built in by default, at least the motion sway. The weapon swap speed by default.
And reload speed. That'll nice. If it's true.
Yes. If it's
we'll
true.
be the judges. That will help. That'll be nice.
Yeah. And this is probably my favorite change out of everything, which is crazy that this is my favorite. Because dexterity is getting put into default perks, Mountaineer is on the comeback.
That's
baby.
nice.
My favorite perk.
That is your favorite perk, and you actually turned me on to it, and it became one of my favorite perks, especially on the smaller maps.
Yep.
Like on Rebirth, you can jump off of anything you want.
Any roof.
All of it.
And it's so nice, too, when you take a redeploy drone on Rebirth, because with the way it works, most of the buildings are the same height of where you actually get off the redeploy drone that you're flying to.
Yeah, you don't
so
have to
you never
open
pull your chute. Never.
Yep.
Yeah, so they didn't say, though, they're not bringing it back to that level, but it is going to be much higher than dexterity.
Cool.
So I think a happy middle ground is good. I think it was a little too good last year. But if they're bringing it pretty close to where it was, I'll be excited for that.
Yeah, well, it'll be a nice change.
We got some audio changes, some default perk changes, Mountaineers coming back. What else do we got? Well, we got some more new perks.
We got new weapons.
We got new perks, new weapons.
I think 2 new perks on launch. I think 3 new guns on launch, with 2 to become in mid-season.
Correct. So that is super exciting. The perks look pretty situational. Not sure if I'll be running them. The red perk, so that's a tier 2 perk, is it replenishes your armor over time if you haven't taken damage over 5 seconds.
Which I think could be big in a gunfight. Like, you like to challenge, I like to run away like a scared little bitch. And then if my armor will start, or if my health, armor? Yeah, if your armor will start regenerating on its own. Is it health or armor?
Armor.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was armor. So if your armor starts regenerating on its own, that could be huge. Yeah,
and here's the thing. So for me, I'm thinking, well, why do that when I can have tempered in the next slot and quick fix in that same slot? So what that does is as soon as I start popping a plate, my health will regen, and then along with tempered, it's only 2 plates. So I can be back to full shields and full health in literally a second.
Yeah, really fast. I could see it coming into play end zone. Like if you're low on plates,
that is a
good way and you're repositioning. So it's like a 1-on-2. You try to take out a guy, you're repositioning. If you can stay under cover in a building long enough to get your armor 50% higher than it was to reach out, that could be huge if you're out of plates.
It could be good for sniping.
Very good for sniping.
So there probably could be situational. We'll see. I felt the same way about Mountaineer. I wasn't on board with it at first. Tried it, loved it. So maybe we'll do that with this perk. Who knows what will happen? So it could be pretty cool. We'll wait and see. But the next one, I don't think will be that good at all.
No, increased crouch movement and increased movement when downed.
Yeah.
Now, unless it makes you fast.
Oh, we're talking and prone too. So it's prone, down, and crouch. So my only thing is is this going to help me do some crazy snaking?
Yep.
Because if it's got increased prone speed, that's the only thing I can think of. Other than that,
what's the point?
Yeah, I mean, unless you're a camper and you crouch walk everywhere.
Yep.
Cool. This perks for you guys.
Yep.
For the birds, dude. So.
Well, and what's crazy to me too is in BO6, your prone movement is already way faster than MW3 because of the Omni movement.
Yeah,
true. It's so much faster. So to increase that even more,
I guess I didn't even think about taking the Omni movement into account. That is true. So maybe it's game changer, dude.
Yeah.
But we'll wait and see. We'll get back to you guys on that. Who knows? They'll probably drop the update. Perk won't even be there. It'll be all bugged and glitched
Yeah, or you
out,
can
so
equip it when you load into the game. It's gone.
it's not there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So knowing this game, I'm not expecting it to even work on day one. But if it does, cool. Let's see. So we had the audio changes, those default perk changes, the new perk changes, and new guns. We're not too sure on the new guns for sure. I know one of them's the PPSH, which is awesome. It's one of my all-time favorites. From the
So
OG.
it's a new old gun.
It's a new old gun. Yeah.
And see, this is all unfamiliar to me because
So which it's just a new gun to you.
Yep.
So I'm excited for it. We got that.
quality of life,
And who knows what that means?
A couple of just the little tidbits that I read is like you're going to be able to ping flares now.
And
where
I
you
thought you
couldn't
could already
before.
do that.
Could Modern Warfare 3, not Black Ops 6.
Right. So it's
But
basically
it's just little stuff like that.
stuff that should have been there day one.
Yeah, you can track challenges, which was in Modern Warfare,
Modern Warfare
3, not in
yeah,
Black Ops 6.
yeah.
Pretty much all the stuff, they're
Is-
just finally catching up.
Right. So from the sounds of it, they're just bringing the beta into an actual. This is pretty
Yeah,
much
yeah.
how the game should have been day one, probably. And if we don't even know if it's going to come out working, so who knows?
We'll find out.
And on top of that, we played a lot of boot camp.
Yep.
You can't get loadout.
Loadout
drops
and boot camp.
What's going on?
What is
Like,
the
why are they not
purpose?
there?
Yes.
So yeah, I didn't see any of that in. I don't know. Maybe it's not even a freaking bug. They did that intentionally.
I think they did do it intentionally, and I think they did it intentionally to keep the players like us that want to go into boot camp to get fun dubs, from getting their max level guns. You have to play with ground loot. It forced you to play with ground loot. I think it was intentional. I don't think
so
it was an
too.
accident.
I hope they revert it,
Me
but I
too.
don't think they will.
I
And
don't
I
think they
think if there's one change I could hope for that is not in these notes, I think that would make a big difference. And this is all assuming the game is fixed and running how it should be. Okay. My biggest issue is that Warzone, when it first came out, you really had to value your life when you played. You had one life and a gulag, and that was it.
Yep.
Nowadays, you have your life, your gulag,
Flares.
gulag token, flares,
Buybacks.
cheaper buybacks, portable buy stations to buy more people back. You're finding, I swear to God, every crate I open has a gulag token in it. I'm not even kidding. So what that does is it turns Warzone from Warzone, a battle royale game, into a glorified TDM.
Yep.
Basically, a big map TDM.
Yep.
And so especially with we're getting Verdansk back, which is the most iconic Warzone map of all time.
Yeah, I'm excited to try it out.
Yes.
Because I've never played Verdansk.
Yep. But if you bring back Verdansk, and number one, we have these bugs and glitches we're having right now and issues, and number two, it's not the same. It's still a glorified TDM. It's gonna be a problem because I want to play because big map BR feels like Resurgence. It does not feel like an actual BR mode.
Yeah.
Like Resurgence is great, cool. It runs how it should. BR is just a glorified Resurgence or a glorified TDM.
So what would do you propose, or in your perfect world, would it be to get rid of all tokens and you can't buy back? Or is buybacks costing like $30,000?
Buybacks were a day one thing. Buybacks are great for the game. I think buybacks stay and the prices can stay how they are. But we entirely remove gulag tokens and flares are incredibly rare. And I think they changed that. They're very rare now. I
haven't seen very many of them.
I've only found one.
Even in Modern Warfare 3, you'd find them pretty regular.
Yes,
or at least someone in your squad would.
And I maybe even just honestly, you know what, T-Bone? I would actually say remove flares entirely, remove gulag tokens entirely, just buybacks how it was day one. Because you don't value your life anymore. Because back in the day, you get to an end game, dude, and you're shitting your fucking pants. Your heart rate is up so goddamn high. Nowadays, I'm like, oh, my buddy will just pop his flare or pop his deployable buy station, or I'll find a gulag token and I'll go to my 5th gulag match of the freaking game, dude.
Yep.
It's just like, what are we doing with BR?
Yep.
So if Verdansk comes back, please, please, please get some of these changes incorporated. Also, when Verdansk was a thing, it had 150 players, and now we only have 120. Can the servers handle it? I don't know.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah, probably.
But I'd like 150 players, please. If we're bringing back Verdansk, please do that. Anyways, boys and girls, that should about round it out for pretty much the important changes. We got some audio changes.
Yeah, and we're just going to have to do this again after we've tested and verified.
Yeah, we're going to have to test it. But audio changes, perk changes, default perk changes, new guns, new perks, quality of life stuff. We'll see what happens. But boys and girls, We're going to hit you guys with a quick little ad. And on the other side, we're going to get into probably my favorite segment of all time.
Ooh, I'm excited for this.
Oh, my goodness. We're going to be going over our tier list of the week. And it's going to be Modern Warfare 3 maps and guns. Let's get into it.
We're back.
We are back, boys and girls.
I'm excited about this segment. I've been excited.
Yeah.
This is what piqued my interest when you said, well, first of all, do you want to talk about COD for a couple hours? Yeah, dude. And then I just don't sound like a nerd all the time because that's what we're supposed to be doing.
Oh, my
And then when
gosh.
you said we get to go through our favorite guns and stuff, let's ride.
So, as you boys and girls probably can tell, we like Modern Warfare 3.
A lot.
We like it so much, in fact, that we wanted to do 2 tier lists this week, not just one. And this is our first ever COD tier list. Most of the time we do fun little life tier lists like fast food or Marvel
You're telling me
stuff.
that.
But this week,
This is the way to go.
we're doing the COD tier list.
It's a
baby.
COD cast, dude.
This
We got to
is
do COD
full
tiers.
COD pod, baby. I
Love.
cannot believe it. So we're going to start off the list here
We're
with
doing
Modern.
guns or maps.
I'd like to start with maps.
Let's do it, dude. I'm locked and loaded.
I'm
gonna
gonna beat
keep
your
it.
ass in rock, paper, scissors.
We're doing rock, paper,
Yeah,
scissors?
on shoot.
Now,
2
rock,
out of-
paper, scissors, shoot.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. 2 out of 3. Whoever
got it,
gets to go
dude.
first.
You got it,
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
There's one.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
There's 2.
Got him. Your boy's going first. And
Now we are starting at F.
we are starting at
All
F,
right.
working our way up.
This is cool.
Here we go, boys and girls. Modern Warfare 3 maps. Here we go.
F stands for get the fuck off the game. Is that what F stands for?
Exactly,
Okay.
dude. And coming in at the get the fuck off the game tier, we got Estate.
Oh,
Such
all right.
a terrible, terrible map.
It is too.
It doesn't flow good in Hardpoint. It doesn't flow good in TDM, and it don't flow good in Cuddy.
It doesn't flow good.
Anywhere.
Period. End of
It's-
discussion. Period.
it's a
Ever.
bad map.
Period. It's awful.
Terrible layout. Don't know what they were thinking back in 09 when they made it.
Now, if we put the listeners up to a vote, though, I'm gonna win the F
Are
tier.
you
Yeah,
really?
I am,
Okay,
am.
because
I didn't even have a state on my list. That's
I-
how bad I thought it was. That it didn't even make an F grade. It flunked out.
Okay, so yeah, that's my F tier. Not much explanation. We all know it.
It's
we
awful.
all hate it.
It's awful.
So T
And I think the only map worse than it on the game is Wasteland.
Oh, I forgot about that, dude. No way. I had Derail as my backup for F.
Me too.
Wasteland.
Yeah, Wasteland's awful. It's like I said, Estate terrible. Wasteland is worse.
Yeah, dude, it doesn't get much more F tier than that.
It does
dude.
not. Those 2, yeah, take them off the game. Nobody wants to play them.
Get them out of here.
Wasteland was so bad that they removed it from the Cutthroat playlist. It's the only that and Derailed, the only map that's been removed from Cuddy.
Wow. My D tier pick. I feel very confident about this. Corey.
Query. That's good. That's what I call it.
Corey at the old D tier. Not the worst map in the game, but you still don't want to get it.
It's
you
below
don't wanna
average.
play on it. Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
for sure.
And now keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of our opinions are coming from how they play in the mode Cutthroat.
It is the
So-
it is the mode we play the most, and it
might
is the
play-
best mode
these
on the
maps
game.
might play different other modes. We're not 100% sure, and if we do know, we'll
Well, I
pitch
am
in about
100%
that.
sure because unlike you, I've been like I said, I was 5 months in multiplayer. I've grinded every single camo challenge. All my
Mhm.
guns are interstellar. It sucks also
Yeah.
on most game modes. There's
Well-
no making it good.
I
Um,
love
in my
it.
opinion. So
That's
I concur.
Totally fair.
That's a
dude,
great
totally
D
fair.
pick.
So, yeah, Corey, whatever you want to call it, at the D tier.
Its actual name's Quarry for sure.
True. If you got,
I like to call it Query.
Okay,
but
yeah.
anyway.
For the government name is Corey,
Yes.
guys.
Yeah. And I'm gonna go. My D is Derailed.
Okay.
It was
Okay.
my backup for F, but since we got
Yep.
through our Fs,
Yep.
yeah, Derailed. Don't like it. Don't care for it. It's a sniper heavy map with not a lot of cover. There's a
Doesn't-
couple game modes where, like Domination, it can play okay,
Mm-hmm.
but not great.
Right.
It played to me. It plays horrible. It played. It's not even in the map choice anymore. Played horrible in Cutthroat. Absolutely awful.
Yeah.
Your spawn points were awful. Plays awful in TDM. So, anyways, yeah, my D4 derailed. And Cutthroat, just like I guess every other game mode, you get 2 map choices. I can tell you that derailed, I'm never voting for unless the other option is Wasteland or Estate.
Yeah,
so
dude, that's the only
that-
circumstance we're playing that map. That's a perfect way to put D tier. Is that 90% of the time it plays terribly, but there might be a few niche experiences where maybe this mode it could play decent, or that mode it could maybe do
every
good.
little bit. Also, I looked at my D tier as in what would I pick the map I hate the most, what would I pick over that?
Mhm.
If I had to choose between Derail and Wasteland or Derail and
Yeah.
Estate, I would pick Derail. So it made it to the next list.
Okay,
I just want to throw out can we throw out honorable mentions on what our backups are?
dude, let's do it. I love that.
My honorable mention for D tier, me personally, is Terminal. Because I play so much
Wow.
Cutthroat and I hate how Cutthroat plays on Terminal.
Good thing that's your honorable mention.
No, and that's cool too. Again, so this is it's also up higher on my list as far as for a main map. I don't mind a lot of your just normal multiplayer modes. I enjoy Terminal. On Cutthroat, everyone seems to do the same thing every single time. You get bunched up in the same spots. A team always goes to Burger Town, and I think this is one of the reasons it's so far down on my list is because when we got big into Cutthroat, you were playing Terminal at least every other match. And I got so sick and tired of playing the same map before they released more and more into the Cutthroat. And so, anyways, honorable mention, my backup, because it's above a D, but if it,
in terms of our experience,
specifically to Cutthroat, I don't care for it.
Yep.
I pick almost every other map over Terminal.
Okay.
Love. Charlie.
Charlie, dude. The old Charlie. I'm a little torn on my C tier because I love both of these picks. And I think I'll probably say one and give an honorable mention, but it won't be a pick that you can't take. And I think I'm gonna.
I could almost guarantee you don't have my C tier.
I'm gonna pick my C tier is gonna be Underpass.
Okay, fair. That's a good pick. I didn't even have that on my list.
Not. It's really one of those maps where it's not good, but it's not bad.
Yeah, you can take it or leave
average.
it. Yep. Yeah, we don't typically vote for it in Cutthroat, but if it gets voted, we don't party trick and pull ourselves out of the lobby.
Yep, exactly. And I think that's for good reason. Not only is the color palette of the map not very pretty to look at,
just kind of bleh.
Yeah, and the layout is a little. It's kind of people just run to that building with the 2 layers with the staircase, and you got the window hops.
Yep, those 2 teams you're almost always 90% of the time you're battling.
And then the rest of the map is really open and big and wide, and a lot of little spots to hide. And not the best map, not the worst map. You know, we can get by if we get Underpass. But my honorable mention might be a little bit controversial. I have Favela as my honorable mention.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Because Favela played really good in 09, but where the movement's gotten a lot quicker, Favela, it changes the way Favela is played completely.
I can see that.
And it's just, like I said with Underpass, it's really not good, not bad. And it's just, people out there really do like this map. I think it just plays pretty niche.
Yeah, and so, again, speaking pretty much Cutthroat, I don't even know if I've played Favela outside of Cutthroat. Honestly, I don't think in any of my, because it's not a huge rotation map for all your normal your respawn game modes. I don't think I ever have actually. I've only in my experience on Cuddy with it is I either do really good, I'm like 8-1 good,
right,
or I'm like 3-10 good. Like, you can just go into this map knowing you have a chance. It's like you're just rolling the dice. Is it gonna come up Snake Eyes or am I gonna dominate? Not sure yet. That's how Favela has always played for me.
I love it. But yeah, my main C tier pick, Underpass.
Like it.
And that's where we're at. So back to you. What's your Charlie?
My Charlie's Grime.
That's at C.
It's my map release. It came at the close of the game. When they shut down Modern Warfare 3 for the last time, they gave us a whole bunch of new maps. They're not new maps to MW3, they're just new maps to Cutthroat. So that's when I got to figure out how to play it.
What did Grime come out season
4 or 5?
Yeah, so it's like it was new to us.
Yeah, I had never played it before. So Grime C. It's one of the ones I enjoy playing it.
Right.
But I don't typically vote for it over my AB. But like I said, I kind of looked at my C pick as it's not something I hate. It's just not something I would vote for if any of these other 10 maps are against it in voting. But I will vote it over quite a few maps. So
okay.
Charlie, average, right? Your C grade's average.
Perfect pick, dude.
Get into Bravo.
Couldn't have done it better myself.
This is where it starts getting hard because I have a lot of favorite maps. And we're gonna have to go through some of these honorable mentions because
there is.
I'd like to break these down.
Now, man, you might hate me for this pick, and I can't decide. I can't decide which one I want to do, but I think I have decided. I have a map we play a lot, but one that I am not in love with, but I also think is it's a respectable map, which is Skid Row.
Oh, okay.
I would never disrespect Subbase like that. Right. Don't get it twisted. I love me some Subbase.
Well, you'd be surprised. Not to interrupt, I want you to keep going, but Subbase was my backup for B. That's how much the maps have changed since we got all these new ones. for Cutthroat.
That is so true, though. That
Right?
is so true.
I pick a lot of other maps above Subbase now. Subbase was my go-to, and we as a team were good at it. But then they released all these new maps. So anyway, sorry.
Don't be sorry, dude. This is literally a podcast. We're meant to talk.
So Skid Row.
Skid Row, yeah. So we play this quite often, and it's one of those maps that it's a respectable map. It plays, I feel like, how I think any basic COD map should play.
I love the different levels.
Yes.
You know, there's a lot of hop-ups and stairs, multiple ways to get up and down. It's a really good map.
Yep. There's good verticality, but not to the point where it's overwhelming verticality.
Well, and all your verticality has good hopovers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like at the window and the ledge.
And good flanks.
You can go through the window, you can go up the ledge.
You got the back door, the side door, the window, and then you got, there's a lot of different.
It's a good map.
Good map for sure. I think.
And if you would have brought this, if we would have had this pod, say mid-February, it probably would have been my super pick.
Really?
Yeah, because granted, you got to remember we were limited in map selections and Cutthroat.
Yes.
That's all we played.
Yep.
And Skid Row plays very, very good.
Yeah.
Now it's not up there anymore for me. So, anyways, but that's a solid pick.
Thank you. Yeah. So we got Skid Row,
Can't
B
argue or
tier,
disagree with that at all.
respectable. So over to you, buddy.
My Bravo's High Rise. OG map, obviously, and on Cutthroat, it plays so good. There's multiple. Yep. What I like about it, and this is the thing with Cutthroat, and you learned it when you started playing with us, is Cuddy, it really is, when you're playing against good players, is a huge strategy game.
Exactly.
You have to know where the other teams are spawning, and you're guessing where they're going to be pushing, and you push counter to that. You can't do as much Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah, and I can attest to this because when I first started playing Cuddy with you guys, I wasn't the biggest fan because I didn't know the maps, I didn't know the spawns, I didn't know the flank routes, I didn't know where people would be coming from.
Yep.
And you knew. So when you started teaching me, like, hey,
we're pushing this way.
They're going to come from either here or here, and we go left on this spawn every time. When you start figuring out the strategy,
it's so fun to me.
It's so good.
And I think that's one of the reasons I love that game mode so much is because it's not
spawn
obviously
die.
It comes down to player's individual skill, but there's more strategy in it than in any other game mode, in my opinion.
Because here's the thing. I feel like we work really well together because if I didn't have a strategist like you to direct me where to go and you didn't have a fragger like me, it'd be a lot harder.
Oh, yeah.
But the reason that I think we can do so well is because we complement each other so much.
It takes both for sure. Well, that was when I got into this game. I was playing Cuddy with Weston and McCoy, and I was dog shit. I was awful. I'd never played COD before. And so that's where the term decoy came from. I was full-time decoy. If there was a corner we thought the other team was at, I'd go running around it, draw the fire, and then here would come Gus and Coy. And so
shout out Gus and Coy, by the way.
For sure, they got me into this game for one, and we've logged a lot of hours together. Shout out the Warriors, dude. So as being the decoy, learning this game, I just had to learn the strategy, so I knew where people would be showing up. It was my only chance to stay alive. Okay, so High Rise, and you picked, what was your B? I already forgot.
My B tier.
B tier, yeah.
My B tier was Skid Row.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Great. Solid pick.
So Skid Row, and then you had High Rise.
The one thing about Skid Row that I like over High Rise is Skid Row's a great map for any game mode. I don't care if you're playing TDM. I don't play if you're domination, hard point, capture the flag.
Which is a hard thing to do.
Skid Row plays good. Cyber. I love Skid Row on Cyber.
Skid Row on Cyber is probably top 3.
It's one of the top picks. So that's one of the things I looked at. That's why I put it in my honorable mentions on my A list is Skid Row plays great across the game. I can load into domination, and I've been doing this so much because Keely's been wanting to play. And because she wants to play with me, she started playing MW3 now instead of just Black Ops 6.
Shout out Keely.
Shout out my wife. She's the greatest. And so I've been playing a ton of small map mosh pit with her on MW3. And I've actually been having a lot of fun because now that I'm good and I'm in her lobbies, like a couple nights ago, dude, my last 10 games, my average kills was 89 a game. Like it was so much fun. Just running around, just dominating.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude.
And so, anyways, Alpha.
My A tier pick, I feel very good about this. And you could even argue it as an S tier pick, but I think it's a little more of an A tier pick because there's one map I like more than it. A tier, I got Scrapyard.
God damn, that's a good pick.
I am a Scrapyard.
I honestly forgot about Scrapyard because I wasn't.
Every time we get Scrapyard, I think that map, it plays so good.
It's so good, especially in Cutthroat, which is what we're talking about pretty much predominantly. I totally agree. it has so much flow and it has so many, all the planes and fuselages throughout the map. It
Yes.
gives so many areas for cover.
Yeah.
It has so many areas to get away from a gunfight if
Yeah.
you have to reload or maintain health. It just plays amazing.
And my favorite part is that I almost never play the center. I will play the
I
outside
play
of the
the
map.
outsides all the time too.
Yeah, and it's like, and it doesn't matter which way you play it; they both play good. And so I love Scrapyard.
It is. That's a solid
Flows
A-tier
very
pick.
well. I think all
Yes.
the spawns are pretty balanced.
Yep.
Because you look at a map like Rust, and it's like you got spawns that are not.
Yeah, there's one good one and there's two
Right.
horrible shit.
But then you go to Scrapyard and you go, man, these are all good spawns. It doesn't matter where I spawn. And then you can really like you said, there's strategy involved in Cutthroat, and you can a lot of the times you'll know where they're
Yep.
coming from on Scrapyard,
Yep.
which is good.
Scrapyard's a solid A.
So that's
Solid
my
A
A-tier pick. Love
It would
Scrapyard.
be. Yeah, that's a solid A pick.
Back to you, buddy.
It's one of my favorite maps to play. It's also statistically my best map in Cutthroat. It's Vista. I like how it plays. I've always enjoyed it. Like I've never considered it one of my favorites.
Mhm.
I would vote for it over the majority of other maps because it was always just kind of fun and it flows
Right.
good as well.
Right.
And then here, like a month ago, we started going through our stats via map in Cutthroat, and it is hands down my best map. So, anyways, I got to throw it in as my A pick. I play the best on it, have the best KD on it, and we usually always win on it.
I love it. Dude, these are all great picks coming out of both of us here. Coming in
It's
at-
hard to narrow it down.
It is hard to narrow it down, but I think
Super pick.
we've made it. The S tier, the
We have.
super pick,
I'm
if
gonna
you will.
surprise you, I think.
What's the S in military terms? How would you word that?
Sierra.
Sierra. Full Sierra.
Foxtrot, Delta, Charlie, Bravo, Alpha, Sierra.
Okay. S tier, you alluded to my pick.
I
you
did,
you
'cause
knew
I
it.
knew, dude, and it's
It-
a fun map.
it
It's
is
a
my
good
favorite
super
map.
pick for sure.
Best DLC map in the game. It is Departures. I love this map to death. I love every spawn you get in Cuddy. I love every route you can take in Cuddy. I love the way how you can really win 1v3s in this map
Yes.
because of the layout. There's a lot of maps where it's super hard to win 1v3s. This map
For
really
sure.
advocates
It's
for,
extremely hard to win a 1v3 like in High Rise, for
Yep.
example.
Yep.
Almost impossible, actually, because you can camp on Crane, you can camp
There's
on
so
by
many different
propane tank.
spots.
It's so hard.
But the spots in this seem they're very balanced in terms of like every area there's not really an advantage or a disadvantage, I would say, at least a huge one in this map. Now you have the stair choke point.
Yep.
But at the same time, that one, there's plenty of times where we've one being on top of the stairs, one being on bottom of the stairs.
Yes.
Like it's not really like he's on the freaking crane in High Rise, it's not like that.
Yep.
It's just a well-rounded.
Oh, it's a great
such a good map. The map
It's a
looks
great
good.
map.
It plays good. It is good, and it might be my best map in terms of stats.
I bet
don't
it
know.
probably is because
Or-
you always dominate on it. It was a honorable mention for my ace. It was a backup for my A.
Okay.
Love Departures. In fact, like I said, since the new maps, there's a couple times I yelled at you on the hot mic for picking Departures over Subbase.
Yes.
I pick Departures now over Subbase. It's a fun map. It's really good. So my super pick, and this was really, really hard.
I bet it was,
This
dude.
was so hard. So I'm definitely gonna hit it was really like a super A and super B for me.
Yeah.
But lately, the last month or so, my super pick's Tokyo, dude. I'm dominating.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it is my favorite map to play on Cutthroat. I
Wow.
love the way that it plays out of every spawn. I love the way it's laid out. It's freaking awesome.
Tokyo. That's
And I vote for
can't
it every
argue with
single
it.
time.
I
It
can't argue
it is
with
so much fun to me.
It's personally not my favorite, but I can't argue it being up there as a map. I really can't. I think they smashed it with that one. Really.
They nailed it.
And to be honest, dude, that's what's so awesome about this game is we can really only name 2 bad maps, and all the DLC
Yeah.
maps are good.
3 really.
Yeah,
Derail Wasteland
and those were maps that
and
came out in 09, like
Yeah.
and they had to bring them
Yep.
back.
all their
So
new
it's
ones
like-
are good.
And so all the maps they brought post launch were all great. So like they smashed it on maps in this game.
Yep.
You can scroll through a private match playlist and look at the maps, and you can just keep scrolling on maps.
Yep.
So nailed it on that front.
Yeah, honorable mention. So my super pick B was Grow House. I love that map.
That was mine
really,
too.
I'm
That was mine
really
too.
good at that map. It's
That
so
was mine
much
too.
fun.
That was my backup S as well.
It is probably the funnest small map on the game. Funner than Meat, funner than Shipment. It's so much fun. It's my favorite. I had a hard time picking between Tokyo and Grow House, and I probably only picked Tokyo because I have just dominated Tokyo the last 2 months on Cutthroat. Like it is my jam.
Yeah.
So much fun. Another honorable mention for me, and this was actually for my A list honorable mention that I forgot was Paris. I've loved Paris. It's another new map. Paris plays really good on it's another one of those maps that play excellent on every game mode.
Okay.
It doesn't matter if we're playing it on Cyber, it's a blast. If we're playing it on Cuddy, it's a blast. Domination, it's a blast. Like, it's a fun map. But yeah, Tokyo and Grow House, I couldn't really decide. I could interchange those all the time depending on how I'm feeling.
And you know me personally, I think I'd pick Grow House, but I still can't argue with Tokyo.
It's hard and I've yet to have to vote Tokyo and Grow House in the Cutthroat playlist, so I don't know exactly what I would choose.
But it's good.
But I'm always picking Grow House over whatever else, and I'm always picking Tokyo right now over whatever else. So at this moment in time, those are my super picks, dude.
What am I picking in the map vote? What am I putting over this? What am I doing over that?
That's awesome. Tokyo just plays so fun. Out of every spawn, you have two of the 3 spawns, you're pushing casino, and it's always a battle. It's always fun. There's the flank spots around the outside.
I love that. I love the casino fights because you got so many flank routes.
So much fun, yes. And then the last spawn, it's also fun because you're either pushing towards casino and coming up on their battle, or you can push around the far right side and you come up on their battle on the back side. So it's a fun map all the way around.
I love it, dude. I love it. And my backup pick for S was also Grow House.
Yeah.
But I had Meat in there as an honorable mention.
Fair. That's fair.
So I really Grow House and Meat I really love, and then Departures is my all-time favorite. So there's really nothing I can do.
I knew you were gonna pick Departures. Grow House and Meat are really fun. I just know in Cutthroat specifically, if it's Grow House or Meat, I'm gonna pick Grow House. So that's why Grow House made my super pick, and Meat was an A tier. But dude, all time.
Yeah, dude. I can't. I love our list. I just want to go through this one more time on our picks here. So
recap.
Starting off at F, I had Estate.
I had Wasteland.
Okay, and then I had Quarry.
I had Derail.
And then we got good old Underpass is my C.
And Grime.
Yep. Okay, and then we had Skid Row.
High Rise.
At B. Yep, an A tier. Here we go. Scrapyard, baby.
Vista.
And then you know the S tier. You love them. You know
we just went through them.
The old Departures in Tokyo. So
Grow House with both of our backups was a Grow House. Grow House makes the S tier.
I think
it's Tokyo, Departures, and Grow House. That's the super
I think
picks
collectively, if we both put Grow House at backup S tier, it's got to be the objective S tier.
It is. It's got to be.
Oh my gosh! First tier list down. Couldn't have asked for a better tier list, and that's not even the last one.
No, we've got another one. It's going to be guns. And this one's going to be even more fun because we have such a differentiating play style.
Yes,
maps play a certain way all the time.
And you know that,
And so we know how to play them. And with Cutthroat, we work as a team and as a strategy.
And I can tell you.
Guns are going to be different. But we'll get to this tier list guns after this message. All right, we're kicking this off. Modern Warfare 3, to recap, because we're back from break, right?
We are.
Modern Warfare 3 tier list guns.
Oh, boy.
Modern Warfare 3 only. Did you throw any MW2 guns in there? Because I don't think that I did.
Not a single one.
So we're doing Modern Warfare 3 guns only. If I have a Modern Warfare 2 gun in there by accident, I apologize because I don't know the Modern Warfare 2 guns, but I'm pretty sure I went through all the guns that I thought I had Interstellar Camo on because those are all MW3 guns. And pick from that list.
Casual flex, dude.
Yep. And just like on the maps, we're going to start F off with get the fuck out of the game. And it's the Lockwood 300. And it's that piece of shit. It's not the gun per se. It's that piece of shit animation that it has where like the graphics like cease to exist. You've seen it. It's like the giant star when you shoot and you kill. It's awful. It's awful.
Never seen this, bro.
You've had to have seen this. All I know is it's a double-barreled shotgun.
Oh, that one. That's the Modern Warfare 2 shotgun. Okay.
Is that what it is?
I'm pretty sure. Lockwood 300. Yeah, you said double barrel, right?
Yep. It's a double barrel, and it has that like ba-ding animation, and it throws a star up on the screen, and it's super laggy, but it's not laggy. It's just the animation, but it just makes my blood boil. It pisses me off.
So the Lockwood 300 is the dual-wield shotgun. Is that
okay?
Is
so
that
then
correct?
that's not my choice. Hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna go the Sidewinder, dude. I tried to play with it. That's gonna be my F tier. It's worthless to me.
That's a good pick.
It doesn't hit hard enough to be as slow of a fire rate as it has, in my opinion. Battle rifle, Sidewinder, get the fuck out of the game. I've never even really been killed by it very many times.
Yeah.
I bet if you could look up the stats on usage, like it's in the bottom of the echelon of the bottom of Modern Warfare 3
And I remember
guns.
looking at the time to kill chart in multiplayer to see if it was any good, because time to kill wise in Warzone, it wasn't bad. But in multiplayer, it was slow.
And that's where my roots are. So, yeah.
Yep.
Fuck the Sidewinder. Get the fuck out of the game.
Perfect.
It's my F tier.
Perfect. Love that F tier pick. And my F tier pick is the good old Stinger.
Yep.
It's the Swarm's little brother.
Yep.
And it fucking sucks so bad.
Okay. So, not disagreeing with you.
Okay.
If you run it akimbo, it's kind of fun. I'm not saying it's good.
I haven't.
I'm just saying it's kind of fun to run those akimbo.
I haven't ever run them akimbo, so that could be my issue.
It's not fun. I'm not saying it's good. Like, you're not going to go dominate with it. But if you have, so I had to grind those through Interstellar Camo too.
Okay.
Akimbo is the way to go.
Okay.
If you're going to use those guns.
Okay.
I agree with, it's an F tier gun for sure. No one's going to pick it to go out and win a cutthroat match.
Yeah.
But if you have to rock them akimbo, makes it a little more fun.
Yeah. So there's not much else to say, dude. It's just like, why wouldn't you just use the swarm?
Let's give you a pistol.
Yeah.
That has such bad recoil that you can't see where you're shooting.
No optic you can put on it.
With a 30-round mag that disappears in 5 seconds.
Yep.
And then say, here, have fun.
That also does no damage.
Yeah, you're shooting BBs.
Uh-huh.
Actually, BBs might even be generous. You're shooting like spitwads. That's what that gun shoots, dude. That's the only reason you can kill somebody is if you're rocking them akimbo, so you're shooting 2 spitwads at once.
I want to put some honorable stinkers here while
Sick.
we're in the low tiers. Maybe they're not an F tier gun, but guns that I hate. The honorable, not F tier, but the honorable FU tier.
Uh-huh.
The RPK conversion kit can lick my nuts,
Yep.
dude. I freaking hate that gun so
Me
much.
too.
And it's not as dominant as it
Garbage.
was, but even if I still died to it to this day, it makes me mad.
Yeah,
It makes
agree.
me because
When
there was
they
that point in time when it was so goddamn dominant, and it's all you would die to.
Yep.
It was the most
Everybody had
infuriating
it.
thing.
Everybody was packing it. It was a one shot. It was
people
bullshit.
thought the longbow was bad, dude. The RPK conversion kit was a different breed.
The longbow takes skill.
Yes.
The longbow is dominant. I hated the longbow for a long time. Got pissed off when people killed me with it. But now that I've gotten better at the game,
what is it? A bolt action sniper? Or something like that?
Yeah. Now that I've gotten better at the game, I appreciate the longbow.
Right.
The RPK just sucked, and it didn't take the skill. You mainly got killed by campers. It seemed like they would just post up because it's a one shot.
And there's nothing more than I hate than campers that use bitch ass guns, dude.
Yep. Totally agree.
But our actual F tier pick is the Stinger and the Sidewinder. Okay, perfect. So moving on to D tier, and it's your turn.
Yes, it is. KV Broadside. Don't know if you've ever used it. I've used it with and without the conversion kit. It's ass.
Okay.
It shoots slow with the conversion kit. It just isn't it. I grinded it through the camos because I had to, and tried to pick it up again here like a month ago with the conversion kit on it. Thought, oh, maybe this would be cool. Not cool. It sucks. Nothing about it. Below average. If all that was left was the broadside, the Sidewinder, and the Stinger, I'd pick the broadside, so it makes it a D class instead of an F class. But yeah, that's my D pick, dude. KV Broadside, garbage.
That's a good pick. I'm gonna go on with the D tier pick here with the Cat AMR Sniper.
That was my honorable mention.
It's just too slow, just too heavy, too big.
Yep, agreed.
It was really good in Warzone when it came out.
It is.
But when you're talking about multiplayer,
and it actually still, so not to interrupt, keep going and then I can go.
It was just that it's just not quick enough for multiplayer.
Yeah, it is not an MW3 gun unless you're on Wasteland Derailed or Estate,
and
right?
You're playing like a little...
and you're just camping up in a corner.
Post it
then
up.
It's good. It still slaps in Warzone. It still has higher damage than any of BO6's Warzone snipers.
I'm pretty sure because it's got an infinite damage one shot
to the head. Yep.
It's just the bolt velocity is a lot worse than those other ones.
Which you can help with that with attachments. It still slaps. It is slow in Warzone, but if you're gonna like pitch up on big map on the top of the construction skyscraper, like it's a lethal sniper.
I mean, you can get a headshot at 200 meters, so you can't argue that.
It's a lethal sniper, but yeah,
Modern Warfare 3 context, it's just
garbage.
Nah.
Yeah. I'm
for it. So
there's so many snipers you can pick from that's not that.
Yeah,
so
literally every other one's better. I think so. All right, cool. So D tier, we had Cat AMR and
KV Broadside.
Okay, perfect. Love these so far, dude.
Charlie, old C tier. I'm not good with my pick or my honorable mention, my backup pick, but you have to respect them. That's what made me give him a C tier.
Okay, just average. Okay.
Longbow. My longbow is a C tier gun.
Yeah, no, that's actually,
in the right hands. It's as lethal as any gun. Dusty Nuts.
Great way to put it. Shout out Dusty.
Yes, shout out Dusty, dude. Hopefully you listen to this. I will send it to you. He works for me in North Dakota. Awesome dude. Probably one of the most lethal people I've ever seen with a longbow. It's insane.
Just tell him we'll get a pay cut if he doesn't listen to it.
Yeah. Okay. It's insane. Him with that longbow is out of this world.
He's so good with
he
that.
is so good with it.
That. Yeah.
And so in the right hands, it's a phenomenal gun. It's not a phenomenal gun in my hands, but you got to respect its lethality in the right hand.
That's a great way to put C tier. It can be really good or really bad. It averages out pretty well. That's pretty good. And I feel pretty similar about this gun. Not as high of a skill ceiling though, but it just felt more average in general of a gun. The WSP9 SMG.
Okay.
The
Oh
Uzi,
yeah,
the,
that's a great
yeah,
C pick,
the
dude.
Uzi.
It shoots fucking
so
slow,
slow,
but
so
it
slow.
packs a punch.
It does, but when you compare it to even just the time to kill, it's
Yeah.
still slower.
Yep.
And so when you got a slow rate of fire with an even, slower time to kill, and then if you miss one bullet, you aren't winning that gunfight.
You gotta hit them.
So it's just there's just way better
Great
options, but there's still worse options. So it's just a good average gun.
Great pick. My backup or honorable mention for the C class is the Moors. Because again, in the right hands with the right skill, McCoy's been running it a lot and doing really good with it.
And mine was also the bow in C tier as an honorable mention pick because it's the same thing as the longbow. Yep. Right hands lethal, but it's hard to use.
Yep, it is hard to use. It takes a crazy amount of skill. Most people that are really good with it, you think they're cheating. Like I thought Dusty was cheating for the longest time because that's how hard it is to use that gun like he uses it. Because it's not a one shot unless you're upper torso or head.
Really?
Yeah.
With the bow?
No, with the longbow.
Oh, with the longbow.
Yeah, I'm talking the longbow.
I thought we were talking about the bow and arrow bow.
Oh no. Yeah.
These dumbass names, dude. Get these out of here. So we got the gun that has the name bow in it, but the bow
the actual bow.
Yeah.
So yeah, longbow, WSP9.
Yeah, dude.
Great
picks.
Yeah, they really are.
Dude.
Moore's my honorable mention. Again, in the right hand, and I've actually been running it a lot in the private matches I've been playing, and it's really fun to use. But it does take an obscene amount of skill or your shit.
Yep.
So that's my C list gun.
Perfect. WSP9 longbow. Love it. Moving
on to Bravo.
On to Bravo.
On to Bravo, dude. We're getting into the upper echelon.
I know it's your pick first, but I got a really, I feel like, unique pick, and I'm not even sure if this is gonna count, but anyways.
I can't wait to hear it.
I got a fun one.
So my Bravo, and this was hard to narrow down too, but I went with the WSP Swarm. That's my Bravo pick.
Okay.
It was meta pretty much for the second half of season 1, all of season 2, and like probably at least half of season 3.
And
it was meta.
And if you
it still shreds.
Yeah.
It still shreds.
Yep.
Absolutely still shreds.
Yep.
Yeah, so my honorable mentions before you go with your Bravo, the STG was an honorable mention for my Bravo.
Okay.
Now.
Yep.
Because we're not going loadouts, we're going individual guns. So it's like if I had to pick, STG's an honorable mention on B. It still shreds. Its TTK is still great. It's a great gun. The DTIR was my backup pick for Bravo.
That's a good B tier pick.
I don't use it hardly ever anymore. I used to.
Yep.
It's a great Warzone gun. It really is a great mid to long range Warzone gun.
And that came out at the end of Warzone's life cycle there, and it was so dominant.
So this is crazy, and I have it circled and underlined Warzone just because I wanted to mention this. So the DTIR I think came out, was it season 5? Was it it was season 4 or season 5?
It was season 5.
Okay, so season
5
release.
Like at the end of the life cycle.
Me and Coy were in North Dakota. Season 5 update done Wednesday morning. Like the season's just released. We grind it, unlock the DTIR, get it leveled up so we can equip it, hop into Warzone. DTIR equipped it, right? It was a 3-shot kill full plates in Warzone. I'm not shitting you.
I forgot it was that broken, dude.
It was broken.
Oh my god.
Me and McCoy had so much fun for like 8 fucking hours running around with the DTIR. Because I mean, we're talking, it hasn't been out for 6 hours yet. And it's a 3-shot kill full plates in Warzone with a battle rifle. It was freaking nuts. Went to bed that night. The next morning, patch update. They're like, we got to calm this down. We messed up. Rightfully so. Yeah. But I have it circled because that was probably some of the most fun Warzone.
I bet. Dude,
it was so much fun, dude. You just shredded people. It was insane. Up to like 50 meters. It was just like bang, 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 dead. It was insane. I can't even describe it. I wish I would have like clipped gameplay because you just shredded people. And it's full auto with like a 600 fire rate. Like
I know. And you could put
it was like cheating. We were like
and it had no recoil. It had none.
No, it was cheating. It was insane. I remember the first game I played, and I was like, Coy, you've got to try this. It shreds. And we had so much fun that night. Got up the next morning, logged right back in, and update, and then the DTR didn't work like it used to.
Oh, no.
It was honorable mention for B, but yeah, Swarm's my Bravo.
Swarm's the Bravo. Okay, perfect, dude. I'm getting my B tier pick. Now, I know we kind of been we will put guns in a certain tier, and you can add the conversion kit. This isn't really an actual aftermarket part or a conversion kit, but it kind of is. I'm putting in the tack evolver, but with the brace fire
Yep.
under barrel.
Yep. Which that's
The-
not a conversion kit. I mean,
Right.
it came late, but that's just an attachment.
Yeah. And dude, when I learned about
The thing's
this,
nuts.
dude, I'm still thinking about that playing on what's the clown map called? Drive-through.
Yeah,
Playing
drive-through.
on drive-through when I
With the
figured this
carousel.
out. People thought I was cheating, dude.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
you're literally ice skating. You don't stop moving.
When that first came out, me and McCoy were playing Cutthroat. It was just the two of us in a rando. And we ended up playing the same lobby like 4 times in a row. And it was an entire team running that. And they would just ice skate around together and just lay
And if
down the
I'm not
bullets.
mistaken, it was even more broken then than it was when I've tried it. 'Cause I only tried it like a month ago.
Yeah.
And it was way more broken on launch.
It was insane.
So, and that's just me putting a B tier, like, and I guess that's not really maybe the gun, but the attachment, but they both go hand
But
in
still,
hand.
yeah.
Because I don't think you can really put it on a different LMG and get the same effect.
The tack, let's see, which one are you putting it on?
The Evolver.
Yes.
The Eradicator doesn't have it.
No, the Eradicator doesn't. But
I know the
there's one,
cast off
There's
does.
one
the cast
more.
off LMG has
Yeah, and then
it.
there's one more that's decent, but nothing like the Evolver.
Yeah. So I'm putting Evolver B tier. I think it's B tier. You could argue B tier even
That's
without it. But I think with the brace fire, it's just too much fun not to throw a B tier.
For sure.
So
I love that. So what are your honorable mentions, though? Let's get down to the nitty-gritty.
my honorable mention for like an actual, more like reliable B tier pick
Mhm.
is MTZ 556.
Oh yeah, I had that too.
Yeah. It's like it's
a great.
yeah.
It's just a great all-around gun.
You can't
Like,
go wrong with it. It's not the best in the world, but it's also not bad. You can get away
Yeah.
with it. It's competitive. It works.
It's competitive all the time, and one of the things it has going for it is its weapon swap speed. It's very, very fast weapon swap speed for an AR. That's why Coy got into it. Like he'd run that with his riot shield because it's very lethal if you want to run a riot shield for your swap speed. Yeah, great all-around gun.
Uh-huh.
TTK, middle of the ground. Mobility, middle of the ground. Like it's just like your kind of jack of all trades weapon. That's great. A great honorable mention.
Perfect. Well, I love it, dude. That's our B tier. We got Tac Evolver. We got Swarm.
Yep.
Perfect, dude.
On to Alpha.
On to Alpha, dude. Take it away.
It's not even arguable. It is an A tier gun. No matter what. It took you forever to get into it, but it is the static.
Oh, okay.
Like it is its movement speed is unparalleled out of the box. Like you don't have to equip a whole bunch of movement attachments to make it super fast. The stock 50 round mag.
Yeah, and the fact that it comes alone, stocked with that much ammunition.
Yes.
And so you get an extra attachment.
You get an extra attachment. Exactly. It's huge. And so then you can equip it with even more movement speed, but it's fast out of the box too.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is arguably, this part's arguably, but it's probably still the best SMG in the game.
I could argue that, yes. That's true.
I would like to look at like actual TTK stats, but I still believe TTK doesn't take into movement and everything else that it goes with.
The full picture because you got damage fall off, you got mobility, you got aim down sight speed.
Yep.
You know,
your movement speed, your tac sprint speed, you got all of it. And I think that the static's the best SMG in the game.
Okay.
I mean, it's that good.
So I'm wondering what you're gonna put at S if you put static at A. That's a good.
Oh, so
that's a
you
good,
go with A and then we'll hit.
Yeah. That's that. Okay. Yeah. So I'm still a little torn and I haven't fully decided here, but I think this is what I'm going to do. I'm putting the SVA assault rifle at A tier.
Love that. I love that pick.
Because
there's so many things.
If you hit the hyper burst shot, if you have it in full auto and you hit that first, when you pull the trigger, you got the hyper burst, right? If you can hit that, it drops your TTK significantly.
Yep.
But if you don't hit that, you actually have a pretty slow killing gun. So it's a pretty high skill, high reward kind of gun.
So what's that hyper burst you're talking about? Because I don't know nothing what you're talking about.
So with the SVA assault rifle, when you click the trigger, those first 2 bullets shoot at the same exact time.
Yep.
Right. And then after that, it's just a normal full auto gun.
Yep.
So that's just called a hyper burst. What it is.
Cool.
But also, if you put it into single fire,
it shoots 2 bolts at a time.
It's a 2 burst with no recoil.
Yeah. So love that pick.
Very versatile. Very good.
It's hugely versatile. Also, if you run it in single fire all the time, and you equipped it for nothing but mobility and recoil, the best you can to get your recoil down and get your mobility up, and then run it in single fire with a fast trigger finger, it is so lethal because it is so much fun because you can get it to like where your aim down sight speed's like under 200 for an AR. That's really good.
That's really good for an AR.
And then you're like, mid to upper echelon on your mobility. Nothing like the superior or the static.
Yeah.
But for an AR with the damage that it puts out, it can be lethal if you just run it in single fire all the time. It's really fun gun to use.
Yep. So it's a little bit like the MTZ 556, but I'd say just a little bit better.
It's better. Oh, for sure, it's better.
Because MTZ 556, it's your standard assault rifle, full auto.
Yeah, it's just middle of the road.
Yeah, it's like a jack of all trades.
Yes.
It's just a little good at everything, but not the best.
Totally agree. The thing I love about the SVA, because I've rocked it in so many different classes, and I think I have like 5 different blueprints of my own saved for it.
Yep.
Is because my class setup, my loadout setup, is traditionally a battle rifle or an assault rifle with the Corio 2.5 on it.
Yep.
Because I'm a mid-range type guy with that. My secondary is an SMG.
Mm-hmm.
Typically the static. Was the swarm, became the static. That's how I run it. Because I like having the mid-range. I like having the short range. That SVA, you can set up. It's one of the few guns in the game that you can put, for me in my loadouts, I can use it as my mid to long range gun in multiplayer. I can put a Corio on it. I can put recoil on it. Yep. I can put high velocity, high grain rounds on it, and it shreds. It's like an STG type at mid to long range. Yep. Or I can ditch all of that shit, and I can put, the DR6 underbarrel, a no stock attachment, put the NIDAR on it, and then put it in single fire, and it's shooting 2 shots per pull, and its aim down sight speed's less than 200, and it's shredding as a SMG type gun. Like, it's a great. It's just it's a great pick. That's a great.
Yeah, thank you. I think what makes these higher tier picks is number 1, versatility, and number 2, it can be either how they are right now or like the height of their power.
The SVA hasn't changed much. Like, it's just been
It's
good.
always been reliable.
Yes.
And it's always been
is a go-to.
Just a higher tier gun.
Totally agree.
And, A tier pick, SVA.
Love that.
And remind me what you had at your A tier.
Static.
So a static and SVA, and then just quickly.
Both great choices.
Yeah. Quickly, my honorable mention for A was the HRM9 SMG.
Yeah.
So
great SMG. My honorable mention for A was the FJX Horus.
Great SMG. I still use that to this day.
With or without the conversion kit, they're both good in their own ways.
Yep.
Like, it just changes the gun slightly. The conversion kit's great because you get the 60-round mag without an attachment.
And you want more range and less recoil, there you go.
Great. Yeah. If you want to rock it, it's just the FJX. It's one of the fastest guns in the game. It's right there with the Superior. Like, it's phenomenal, especially if you run it with the 32-round mag. FJX.
Great time to kill.
I love the FJX as well.
Yep. Great pick. So, but we got SVA, and then we got the static A tier. Perfect. Love it, dude. Now,
super picks, dude.
Take us away.
We ready for the super picks?
Oh boy, here we go.
This is a controversial pick. It's also a matter of if you can't beat them, join them, because I hated them, and then I had to grab them. And I don't even think it's arguable. I think you're lying to yourself if you don't say it's the most powerful gun in the game, and that's why it pisses everybody off. But it's the Reclaimer with the Jack Devastator's conversion kit, a.k.a. known in our group as the Deuce Deuce. It's the Akimbo Reclaimers. They really are the most OP gun in the game, in my opinion. Short range gun, you can't beat them. Like, you will win your battles unless you mess up. They are the most powerful. It's crazy, and it's bullshit. And I hated them for months and months and months, and I got so tired of being shredded by them that I got them. And now that's what I run, and I shred everybody, and everybody gets pissed off and says the same shit in the lobbies that I was saying. Yeah. You suck without the shotguns. Use a real gun. I get it.
Every game, that's what we run into.
If they're going to be there, you're going to use them. I got tired of getting beat by them, so I joined them, and they really are the most OP gun in the game.
Yep,
controversial for sure. It doesn't take near as much skill. I know that, but goddamn, do they shred.
I've never been able to run shotguns, so I personally don't run it. I still stick with the other SMGs. But I would be lying if I told you that close quarters.
They're the most OP gun in the game.
Yeah,
inside of 4 or 5 meters.
Yeah,
they're untouchable.
Yeah, especially if you're playing on meat, dude, and you're in the middle part of the map, dude. You got those shotguns. Imagine your whole team has the shotguns.
You can't win the battle.
Yeah, dude.
You can't win the battle.
Crazy. So that's honestly, it's kind of a you hate to see it kind of.
Yeah,
pick.
You do, but it is the super.
It is true. Now, I don't think my gun's as dominant, but it's been pretty much. I feel like it's been an S tier option the entire lifespan of this game.
You didn't put Superior as your S tier, did you?
I didn't.
Oh,
I didn't put it, dude. It's not
I'm
even
surprised.
On the list.
All right, I would have lost money.
It's still an SMG. We're putting the Rival 9. As the S tier because it's not quite as dominant and overbearing as your Doof Doofs.
No,
but
it's
in
not.
terms of if you look at it in terms of a gun and how it's been over the span of the game, I still think it's an S tier. I think your Doof Doofs are like borderline a little broken, like S
Oh, I
tier.
totally agree.
But I think the Rival 9's like a balanced S tier.
No, I totally agree. I would not be upset, and that's probably all I've used for the last month is the Deuces.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. But I wouldn't be upset if they took them out of the game because I do believe they're broken. And the only reason that I started using them is I got so fucking tired of losing to them.
But dude,
So if you can't beat them, join them. And that's how I looked at it. The Rival 9.
I'm telling you, when McCoy's rocking Riot Shield Doofs, I'm rocking a freaking Rival 9 or static, and you're on your freaking, like, let's say STG static, or maybe you're rocking Doofs too, dude. We can't be stopped.
No. Oh,
can't
no,
be
I
stopped.
totally agree.
And we're playing on Tokyo, dude. Good night, dude. We won.
The Rival 9's interesting too, because this is one of the things that I brought up to you before we started this pod, is the Rival 9 is a great SMG out of the box.
Yep.
Iron
sights are clean.
All of it. Like the mobility's really good. Recoil's manageable. Yep. It's a great gun. And then, like lately, everybody's been running it with the Headhunter conversion kit.
Yes.
Maybe it's the Headhunter. Anyways, it makes it that burst fire gun. Yep. Damage goes up.
And
range
you guys like
up.
using that a lot.
And it is freaking really good. Like, so you can run it multiple different ways. And with that conversion kit on it, it actually makes it it's a STG equivalent on the long range. Yeah. Like the range goes up so much.
It's a lot like the SVA in terms of its versatility because of that conversion kit. And even without the conversion kit, I'm putting it at S tier just as the SMG.
It's a good gun.
It's just a respectable gun, dude. It's been dominant. It's the whole game's life cycle.
Yeah, can't be stopped.
Yeah, you can always pick it up and run it and do good with it and excel with it. And I think that's why it's S tier.
That's a solid. So my honorable mention for S tier was my A tier's the static.
Oh,
because
okay.
I mean it really is. I mean
it's S tier to you.
It's such a good. Well, I believe that it's S tier to everybody. Like if you're just starting the game, or if you have a couple months into the game, or you're a seasoned vet like yourself, like that static will get the job done every time. The ability to have another attachment slot because it's stocked with a 50-round mag,
and the fact that the mag's that big is huge.
Like
it's not
just
like
giant.
They locked it at a 30-round or something.
Yeah,
like that. Like they gave it base big mag.
Well, a mag isn't even an attachment slot. Like you can't. It's just 50.
Cool. So, dude, S tier picks.
Dude, those are solid. Those are solid. You can't go wrong.
Rival 9.
Deuce.
The
Reclaimers with the Jack Devastator.
The government name.
It is, yeah. And it really is broken. And I'm an advocate. Take it the fuck out of the game. Because I'm happy to run any of these other guns we've mentioned and not run the Deuces. My problem with the Deuce, everybody's running them. I'm not going to keep getting shredded by them, so I'm going to do the shredding with them. That's how I look at it. If you can't beat them, join them. And it's really hard to beat the Deuces in close range combat. It's a two-shot. It's a two-tap. And you're packing two of them.
Yep.
You hit your right trigger, left trigger, they're dead. Like, that's it. That's how it is. And that's the key for anybody listening that might want to run them.
Can just one of them one shot, or do you have to connect both?
You have to connect both. It's a two-shot gun.
Okay.
Yep. The damage is 75.
So if you're reloading one of them, you still have to hit boom, boom.
Twice.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, good to know. All right, boys and girls, just real quick, we're going to go over our lists here at the very end. Starting off at F tier, T-Bone, you had...
The Sidewinder.
Was it the Sidewinder? I had the old Stinger, and then at D tier.
Both suck.
Both suck.
Those are great F picks. Get the fuck out of the game. D tier KV broadside. Not really any use for it.
Yep.
Anybody that uses it, they're just experimenting.
Yep, pretty much. Cat AMR at D tier, pretty respectable. Then we had the C tier. What was yours again?
Longbow with an honorable mention of the Moors.
Yep.
Great guns in the right hands, shitty guns in the wrong hands. Yep. That's how I kind of looked at it.
And mine was more like not really, even if you're great, can't really excel too much with it, but it's not really bad. If you're a bad player, it really is an average gun. WSP 9. Yep. So, and then
great pick, by the way.
Thank you. I was pretty proud of that one.
Yeah, that was a great pick. Anyway, Swarm, B tier.
Tacky Volver, Brace Fire, B tier.
Also, 100 rounds.
Yeah,
let them eat, dude. Let them eat.
I think you mean 200 rounds.
Oh, yeah, 200 rounds with the belt. Yep.
So that's funny. And then your A tier was the Static, which I love. And then mine was the SVA. Can't go wrong with either.
Cannot go wrong. That would be a great loadout, by the way.
Yeah,
dude. If you're an SVA Static.
And then to top it all off,
we know it's as overpowered as it can be.
And the old Rival 9. So
like them or hate them, they're that good.
Yep, dude. Yep.
The Deuces, my wife loves them. She shreds with them.
Yep.
Right? Yep. It takes that little skill.
Yeah, dude. Crazy. So
not that you have little skill, honey. Right?
Keely, you're the best player I've ever played with. I don't know what we're talking about.
You carry every time.
Yeah. Keely and Braden, dude. They're so good.
Unstoppable. Quick little tidbit since we're on the pod. Riley messaged me here. I was in North Dakota. It was probably 10 days ago. He goes, hey, you want to hop on and play a couple rounds of Cuddy? And I said, can't. Playing Warzone with Braden and my wife. And his response was, why would you put yourself through that torture?
Well, hold on. I wasn't saying it because you were playing with Keely and Braden. I said it because you were playing Black Ops 6 Warzone.
Fair.
That's why I said it.
With Keely and Braden. All right.
Dude, Keely and Braden are who? I'll play. Dude, sometimes it's not all about sweating and winning. It's about having a good time, and I think they'll do that.
True.
Dude.
Also, they make the lobbies really nice.
True. I wish I had a wife to play COD with. That would be so fucking cool.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
it is pretty
lucky
badass.
guy. So
no complaining here at all.
Rival 9 S tier, Doofs S tier. Couldn't have done it better myself.
Yeah, great.
T-Bone.
Dude, that was so much fun.
That was awesome. Well, boys and girls, that was the tier list of the week. 2 of them. Count them. Dos Moss.
And those were solid tier
lists,
by
good
the way.
Tier lists. Anything you'd like to say before we round it out, dude?
Yeah. Res your fucking teammates and let's get it on, dude. I can't wait to get home so we can fire this up because this just makes me want to play COD now.
Keely's on the way home. Don't worry.
I'm headed there. Let's fire up.
I love it. Boys and girls, that was episode 4 of the Buy Me Back podcast. I hope you all enjoyed as much as we did. It was an absolute blast going over these tier lists, the updates, and just hanging out with you, T-Bone.
Dude, that was so much fun.
So awesome.
So much fun. Thanks for having me, and I can't wait to do it again.